everyone. How are you guys doing today? So, I said I was not gonna be on YouTube for a while, but as you've been seeing, I've been doing some videos lately. I did two recent videos, and I have some news that I want to inform you guys about. Some very important news. So, the title of this article says, Birds are vanishing from North America. It's by the New York Times. The number of birds in the US and Canada has declined by 3 billion, 3 billion or 29% over the past half century, scientists find. The skies are emptying out. The number of birds in the US and Canada has fallen by 29% since 1970, scientists reported on Thursday. There are 2.9 billion fewer birds taking wing now than there were 50 years ago. The analysis published in the journal Science is the most exhaustive and ambitious attempt yet to learn what is happening to avian populations. Avian is just another term for birds. It's another scientific term for birds. The results have shocked researchers and conservation organizations. In a statement on Thursday, David Yarnold, president and chief executive of the National Audubon Society, called the findings a full-blown crisis. Experts have long known that some bird species have become vulnerable to extinction. And actually, recently, in our modern day time, there have been birds that recently became extinct, such as the ivory-billed woodpecker. I might show you guys when I'm done with this recording. But a new study based on a broad survey of more than 500 species reveals steep losses even among such traditionally abundant birds as robins and sparrows. You know, I used to be seeing robins and sparrows on a day-to-day basis. Usually I'd see them either on the front yard looking for worms or in my backyard chilling in the trees, but I myself as well haven't been seeing that much robins, sparrows, and blue jays. There would also normally be cardinals. I'd usually be seeing cardinals, but now they are starting to become a rare sight. So this is a really alarming thing indeed. There are likely many causes, the most important of which include habitat loss and wider use of pesticides. Silent Spring, Rachel Carson's prophetic book in 1962 about the harms caused by pesticides, takes its title from the unnatural quiet settling on a world that has lost its birds. On the morning that had once throbbed with the dawn chorus of robins, catbirds, doves, jays, wrens, and scores of other bird voices, there was now no sound. Kevin Gaston, a conservation biologist at the University of Exeter, said that new findings signal something larger at work. This is the loss of nature. And it's not just birds that are declining in population, it's also a variety of other animals and plants. Common bird species are vital to ecosystems, controlling pests, pollinating flowers, spreading seeds, and regenerating forests. When these birds disappear, their former habitats often are not the same. Declines in your common sparrow or other little brown bird may not receive the same attention as historic losses of bald eagles or sandhill cranes, but they are going to have much more of an impact, said Hilary Young, a conservation biologist at the University of California, Santa Barbara, who was not involved in the new research. A team of researchers from universities, government agencies, and nonprofit organizations collaborated on the new study, which combined all the new methods for counting birds. For decades, professional ornithologists, an ornithologist is someone who studies birds, have been assisted by an army of devoted amateur bird watchers who submit their observations to databases and help carry out surveys of bird populations each year. In the new study, the researchers turned to those surveys to estimate the populations of 529 species between 2006 and 2015. So here you have pictures of unique looking birds that are at risk for extinction. Those estimates include 76% of all bird species in the United States and Canada, but represent almost the entire population of birds. The species for which there weren't enough data to make firm estimates occur only in small numbers. The researchers then used bird watching records to estimate the population of each species since 1970, the earliest year for which there is no solid data. This approach of combining population abundance estimates across all species and looking for an overall trend is really unprecedented, said Scott Loss, a conservation biologist at Oklahoma State University who was part of the new study. While some species grew, the researchers found the majority declined, often by huge numbers. We were stunned by the result. It's just staggering, said Kenneth V. Rosenberg, a conservation scientist at Cornell University and the American Bird Conservancy and the lead author of the new study. It's not just these highly threatened birds that we're afraid are going to go down on the endangered species list, he said. It's across the board. Weather radar offered another way to track bird populations. Dr. Rosenberg and his colleagues counted birds recorded on radar at 143 stations across the United States from 2007 to 2018. They focused on springtime scans when birds were migrating in great numbers. The team measured a 14% decline during that period, consistent with the drop recorded in the bird-watching records. If we have two datasets showing the same thing, it's a home run, said Nicole Michael, a senior quantitative ecologist at the Audubon Society who was not involved in the study. Among the worst hit groups were warblers with a population that dropped by 617 million. There are 440 million fewer blackbirds than there once were. So here you have a graph on the right side. It lists the habitats that these birds live in. The colors represent the areas in the Americas where these habitats are found. So you can go back to this article and check this graph out. Dr. Rosenberg said he was surprised by how widespread the population drop was. Even starlings, a species that became a fast-breeding pest after its introduction to the United States in 1890, have dwindled by 83 million birds, a 49% decline. Wow! Europe is experiencing a similar loss of birds, also among common species, said Dr. Gaston, of the University of Exeter. The numbers are broadly comparable, he said. The new study was not designed to determine why birds are disappearing, but the results as well as earlier research point to some likely culprits. grassland species have suffered the biggest decline by far, having lost 717 million birds. These birds have probably been decimated by modern agriculture and development. I was just about to say that. Every field that's plowed under and every wetland area that's drained, you lose the birds in that area, Dr. Rosenberg said. And actually, the main reason why the Amazon rainforest was burning is because of the widespread of agriculture. In addition to habitat loss, pesticides may have taken a toll. A study published last week, for example, found that pesticides called neonicotinoids, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, make it harder for birds to put on weight needed for migration, delaying their travel. So here are some more birds. Very beautiful birds. This is a picture of them migrating. These look like geese. Yeah, snow geese in Sacramento Valley. They're actually really beautiful geese. The researchers found some positive signs. Bald eagles are thriving, for example, and falcon populations have grown by 33%. Waterfowl are on the upswing. For the most part, there's little mystery about how these happy exceptions came to be. Many recovering bird species were nearly wiped out in the last century by pesticides, hunting, and other pressures. Conservation measures allowed them to bounce back. In those cases, we knew what the causes were and we acted on that. They're models of success. But some thriving populations are harder to explain. Tiny warbler-like birds called vireos are booming, with 89 million more birds than in 1970, a jump of 53%. Yet warblers, which share the same habitats as vireos, have suffered a 37% decline. I have no idea why vireos are doing well, Dr. Rosenberg said. I'd love to do a study of vireos and discover what their secret is. The sheer scale of bird decline meant that stopping it would require immense effort. Habitats must be defended, chemicals restricted, buildings redesigned. We're overusing the world, so it's affecting everything, she said. The Audubon Society is calling for protection of bird-rich habitats such as the Great Lakes and the Colorado River Basin, as well as for upholding the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, which the Trump administration is trying to roll back. You know, the Trump administration is actually weakening many wildlife laws and acts that protect many species of animals in the U.S. And I've been seeing on Instagram that particularly um, the one hit the hardest are protection for marine mammals. That's being hit hard by the Trump administration. I don't know why the Trump administration is doing those kinds of things. I guess Trump is not just a racist, but he is anti-nature. The society and other bird advocacy groups also suggest things that individuals can do. They urge keeping cats inside so they don't kill smaller birds. Vast numbers of birds die each year after flying into windows. There are ways to make the glass more visible to them. To some birders, the study's findings confirm a dreaded hunch. Beverly, I don't know how to say that name, a 62 retired cookbook author and her husband Anders have spotted 256 species in parks in the eastern United States. But when she visited her mother in North Carolina in recent years, it seemed there weren't as many birds as she recalled from her childhood there, which is the exact same thing I just said. I live in North Carolina, by the way, and I haven't been seeing that much birds myself as I used to in my childhood as well. Like I said, every morning, every day, I always see a bunch of birds in my yard, but now they're just not there no more. And when she talks to people around the United States on her birding travels, many say the same thing. Oftentimes people will tell you, it's nothing like it used to be, she said. The estimated losses have left her appalled. If the Cardinals and the Blue Jays and the Sparrows aren't doing well, she said, that's really scary. It is really scary. So, aww. These are burrowing owls in an American desert. Alright, so this concludes the article. So, many of you might have heard that we are entering the sixth mass extinction, and it's not caused by any disasters or uh, uh, meteor impact or volcanic eruption, but it's humans who are causing the decline of these bird species, particularly the ones who are the higher ups. You also have, as you guys been hearing in recent days, rainforests burning all over the world. Ice from the Arctic and Antarctica is melting in unprecedented rates. I'm actually going to do a video on those when I get a chance, because there are other YouTubers as well who are shedding light on those topics. But unfortunately, nobody cares. Instead, you have people going crazy over some damn spicy chicken sandwich from Popeyes. And now you have a bunch of people going crazy about some damn chicken with glazed donuts from KFC. And I'm actually going to do a video on that, giving my take on that. You have a bunch of people investing their time on foolish stuff instead of paying attention to the things that matter, such as this. Okay, there's lots of animals and plants going extinct, and whatever happens to them will also eventually happen to us. Okay, I don't know why a lot of people can't seem to get that, but whatever affects them also affects us. So we really need to start paying attention to everything that's going around us. We need to really stop playing games and succumbing to these distractions, because the Popeyes and KFC situations are nothing but created distractions, okay? They're created distractions by the elites to further contribute to our demise. Okay, as long as they can keep us distracted, they can accomplish their evil goal of causing our demise. Okay, so it's really time for us, high time for us to start opening up our eyes and start preparing for what is about to happen. Okay, not to mention World War III is at hand, because the U.S. is just having tensions with many nations all over the world. They're having trade disputes with China. Yesterday, there was actually a drone, a U.S. drone that killed 30 farmers somewhere in the Middle East. Okay, so tensions are really rising up. Okay, and we really need to start paying attention to these things and know how to survive the upcoming Armageddon, instead of devoting our time to pure foolishness. All right. Now, what I would suggest is to quit using pesticides. Pesticides are not good for you anyways to be or around with. If you're having yellow jacket or wasp problems, especially during the summertime when they are most abundant, just grab an net and kill them from there. Okay, maybe stop on them, but refrain from using pesticides because, as you read in this article, it's these pesticides that's causing these birds to become extinct. And like I said, it's not good for us humans anyway to be exposed to these kinds of chemicals or even having them in our house. There are lots of alternate ways to keep clean and keep pests away. But definitely stay away from these no good chemicals and pesticides. Anyway, I just wanted to inform you guys about this really important situation that's happening regarding birds becoming extinct. Let me know what you guys think about this, and I'll see you guys on the next video.